Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a really cool way of basically making your own streaming movie server at home. So you don't have to depend on the services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever. But more importantly, you get much better quality, especially if you're like me and you're into top quality audio. Now, I've been doing this for years and I've refined the process. I've used the better tools as they've come out. I'm going to take you through how I do it. And as of the date of this video, this is the very best way to do top quality results. Now, quick little history on what this is all about. I'm going to blow some young minds right now. Not too long ago, there was no such thing as streaming video. If you wanted to watch a movie, you needed a disc. You took that disc and you put it into what was called a Blu-ray or DVD player. In fact, Blu-ray is really freaking new. DVD was the standard for a long time. So you put this disc in your player that was physically wired to your television set, and that's where you watched the movie. You couldn't play it on anything like a smartphone or a tablet because they didn't freaking exist. If you wanted to watch it in your bedroom, you had to take the disc out, put it in the bedroom player, or take the whole player itself into the bedroom. Okay, it was a pain in the butt. But that was the price you paid for watching movies at home. Now, there was a company way back in the day that came out called Kaleidoscape. Basically, they came out with a way of taking all your discs and digitizing them. So you fed all your discs into this machine that was on a rack, like a server rack, and it copied the information from the discs onto a whole bunch of hard drives. And back then, half a terabyte was about the biggest you could get, so it used a lot of hard drives. Here's the problem. It was about $30,000 for this monster, but you could connect it into your television or your home theater. If you were using this system, you were freaking loaded. So you had a theater and you used a remote and you could basically use that as a digital DVD changer. Really cool. That was the only way to do it back then. Well, years ago, I figured out how to do it myself using the original Apple TV and whatever storage you wanted. I used a big Drobo, and I was able to do it. Very similar interface, and it only cost me about $1,500. Well, today, things are a lot simpler. So, first up, what do we have to do to get the information off the disc? I'm only going to be concentrating on Blu-rays. Frankly, I haven't touched a DVD in years. The quality sucks. Blu-ray is just on another level of quality, and that's all there is to it. So I only watch and rip Blu-rays. So I'm going to show you everything to do with Blu-rays. DVDs are a lot easier. You can look up other guides for that. But here's what we need. It's a combination of software. Yes, this is going to cost you about $110 just to buy the software that you need to do everything. So let's go through it. The first thing you need is software called Red Fox AnyDVD HD. Yes, I know the name says DVD. It's for Blu-rays. This is just a holdover. It's been around for years, and this program will run in the background and allow the information to physically come off the disc. If you were just to put in a Blu-ray disc into your drive, you can't copy it. You need this running to allow it. And this is about $100 for a lifetime subscription. And I would definitely suggest doing the lifetime over the less, I don't even know if they have the less expensive anymore. Let me check. Lifetime, 109 euros. So it's gone up. It's the only option. Yeah, they got a 1, 2, and a 3 year. The difference is they put out frequent updates, and there's a catalog of updates. When new movies come out, you often need the update to have it work. So I do suggest the lifetime. I made the mistake of doing a year, and then I did the lifetime. So I basically wasted a whole bunch of money for that year. All right, so that'll run in the background, and we just launch it. And now we can stick in the disc, whatever you're going to rip. Rip is just a term in movie discs for copying. So we stick this in the computer. So AnyDVD is running, disc is in. Now we launch a program called TsMuxer, and it's right here. This one's free. All right, this allows us to take the parts of the movie that we want And this gets a little tricky because a lot of Blu-rays are different. There is really no rhyme or reason to how they put things on the disc, but there are some general rules. We click on Add. First of all, what we're going to look for is the file to pull off. We go to the DVD, or the Blu-ray, drive. We go into the BDMV and then into the Stream folder. This is the first place to check. Sort by size, and you're looking for one huge file. If you don't see some file, at least 20 gigabytes, then we're going to have to go to Plan B. But if you see one big file, you're golden. This is all we need to do. Double click on it. Now, what if you see some that are like 4, 5, 6? There's a whole bunch of medium size files. This means this Blu-ray is using what are called playlists, and it's a way to try to discourage you from doing this. Instead of just pulling up the main movie file, it pulls from a playlist, just like YouTube does playlists, except it splits the movie into separate little videos and then plays them in sequence. So you can't just point to one file and pull it off your disk. So in that case, we go back, and instead of the Stream folder, we go into the Playlist folder. Now, here they also play games. Each of these is a playlist, and they make a lot of dummy playlists. There is really no rule as to which one is the right one either. What you can do is go onto the AnyDVD forums or the TsMuxer forums, and there will be people talking about, hey, which playlist is the real one. Sometimes you can also right-click on the AnyDVD icon, go to Settings, and it will, under one of these, I think under Status, so the one that comes up, it will say which is the correct playlist. Okay? Not all of them will do that, though. If you don't need to use a playlist, it won't show it, but it would show it right about here. So this is the first thing to check. Next would be online, checking for the forums. But this one is normal, and I would say about 95% of them do it this way. You just look for the one big file, double click it, opens it up, and it's going to show you what's in that file. What you're looking at are all the different video and audio options. This is where you get the different resolutions, the different languages, different types of surround sound, all that kind of good stuff. Now, the way I'm going to show you, you get the best quality. The only thing this cannot do, this whole routine, is Dolby Atmos, because that requires a straight bitrate audio feed that you can only get direct from a Blu-ray player plugged into your TV. None of the set-top boxes do it, but you can go all the way through DTS-MA using this way, so you get phenomenal quality. So the first file, the H.264, that is your main movie file. Okay, we're always going to use that. We don't need to do a thing with it. It's always going to be in full HD, and you want that selected. Next, we're going to choose the audio. Pretty much all the time, the next file is going to be your main audio at the best quality that it's set to. You may see discs with both Sony DTS and Dolby AC3. You might see multiple DTS options. HD or MA are going to be exceptional quality. Next, you see it that it's English and French. We're going to deselect everything except the main movie and the main audio file. Some of these will have a whole bunch of check marks for extra stuff on the disc. Some of them will have just the basics. Uncheck everything except the movie file and this audio file. And by the way, if you select the playlist, this exact same thing shows up. It puts them all together. You don't have to do anything different. Okay, down here, all we do is select M2 TsMuxing and give it a directory to write the temporary file to. I just put it on my desktop. This isn't anything permanent. Give it a name, doesn't matter, anything. All right, so this is going to rip out, this is hence the term ripping, the main movie file and the main audio file, put it into one M2TS file, and from there we can do whatever we want to with it. This is the step of taking it off the physical disk. We click Start Muxing, and it will go. This speed completely depends on the speed of your Blu-ray player in the computer, and they're all pretty much the same. I find movies will take about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the movie. and the speed will increase all the way to the end because the read rate of a disk is variable. So I'll come back when this is done and we have the file that's writing right over here on the desktop. Once we're done ripping here, and no, it didn't take that long, even though this is a big file. I was doing other stuff and came back. We are done with TsMuxer, we are done with AnyDVD, and we are done with the disk. Now, at this point, we have the file. And if you're a real stickler for quality and you want the pure 100% Blu-ray file, you can use this. The solution I'm going to show you will play this file. The only downsides being, it's freaking huge. This is a 27 gigabyte file. It is direct off the Blu-ray. Now, if you are wiring your Apple TV, and by the way, this solution only works with the Apple TV, none of the other set-top boxes will do what I'm going to show you. If you're wired through Ethernet and have obviously sufficient storage where you don't mind your files being that big, this can actually work really well for you. If, however, you're going over Wi-Fi to the Apple TV and any other devices, this solution, by the way, also works on your iPads and your iPhones. Then you need to go to the next step, which is transcoding it using Handbrake, which is another free program. And this will get us down a good 75% to a much more manageable size. Most movies, in the end, they're averaging 4 to 5 gigabytes, which is much more manageable and streamable, more importantly, over the average Wi-Fi connection. So the first thing we do in Handbrake is go to our source, and we're going to open up the file that we just created. Okay, it reads it. Now we're in. Now I'm going to run you through the presets that I have done. This gets me, I swear to you, 99% of the visual quality and saves you so much space over the normal Blu-ray file. If you do run into the rare Blue Moon movie where you might see some weird banding or something in a scene, just up the quality and re-encode it. I'm serious. I don't have to touch anything though. These settings are what I use. I'm just going to run through them here. You can pause it to see what I did. Picture, I believe all this is default except anamorphic. You want strict. Filters, off. Video. You want H.264, frame rate, same as source, constant frame rate. I set it for quality 19. I have found this to be the best balance of exceptional visual quality and file size. I don't go lower than that. I have done, this is all based on hours and hours and hours of trial and error testing. So these are what I use. You know, if you've been watching me long enough, I have pretty high standards. So this is what I use. And you can see the current settings here. 264 preset is medium. Do not check fast decode. No tuning filter preset, and profile is set to high at 5.1. That's not audio, that's a video rendering setting. Audio is something you have to set each time you do a movie because each audio input is going to be different. So what we want to select is the DTS HDMA. In this case, it's the highest quality one. And we want auto pass-through, okay? That's the only thing we have to do. Create your preset, you click it, you come to audio, and you select your highest quality. This pulls it in from the video file, and we need to give it a name. Now, what I do is I have a folder called Movies, and I put everything in here. This can go anywhere on your network that's shareable. Whether or not you want an internal drive with a directory like this, or an external drive that's plugged in, or a NAS drive that you've got connected to your router, doesn't matter. As long as it's got a fast connection to your network and it's shared, this will work, okay? So I have this one movies folder and I've got it shared. That's all. I put everything in folders in here for easy organization. These are all the movies that I currently have ripped and ready to go. And now I don't have to use any of my discs anymore. All of my boxes and everything, they go into storage, they go on the shelf, whatever. I never have to touch them again. All right, so I've already done this, but you would give it a name and it would show up here. and you click start. You can queue these up. This will highly depend on your CPU power in your system. This will use every available core. The more cores, the better, the faster, the better. It will max them out at 100%. And the average movie, it's even on this system, a little better than 1-to-1. So if it's an hour and a half movie, you can count on it on an average system taking an hour and a half to 2 hours to rip, or transcode, I should say. And remember, this is at the very, very high quality options that I've set. Okay, so that's it. You load up your source, give it a name, click your audio. I'm sorry. Let me redo that. You click your source, click your preset, give it a name, choose your audio, click start. If you were to do more than these, you can rip your movies and have these ready to go. Let this go overnight, for example. You can click add to queue and it'll bring up a queue. That's it. Okay, that'll go. And now we can move on over to the actual home theater. Okay, now we're in the living room. This is my Apple TV. And the magic program is called Infuse. It's $10. It's worth absolutely every penny. And it also works on any iOS device, not just your Apple TVs. This allows you to play virtually any file. This will work off the straight ripped Blu-ray or anything you transcode into Handbrake. So we go into the program. I've set up a favorites here called Movies. All right. Library will just open up whatever you've got on your network. The first thing you need to do is go into settings and set up your actual shares. This is your connection to your drive or your folder, whatever you've done. Now, frankly, this can be a little finicky. It depends on your OS, how you have to do it, how you have your user account set up. Look to their forums if you're having any problems, but they do have pretty easy instructions when you download the app, but there is help on their website. Once you do that, you set up a favorite, whatever you want to call it, and all you do is go into your favorites. It's going to pull up whatever you've got on the hard drive. Now I've got my hard drives in sleep mode, so it takes a second here the first time it comes up, and boom, got all your movies. Pretty much looks like Netflix or Hulu or whatever. This is a really cool app. It will automatically pull in the metadata, whether it's embedded in your file or it'll pull it over the internet. So for example, you click on this, wait a second, you've got all the bio info and all the stuff about the movie. It's really cool. To play it, you just press play and it works just like Netflix. You know, it's local. You've got fast forward and rewind. This is another benefit to transcoding. The smaller the file, the faster things work for play and pause. And it's in full Blu-ray quality, including the audio, which is most important to me. This is the only app, the only way you can get anything better than basic Dolby AC3 and basic DTS. This is the only player for DTS MA, which a lot of the top quality Blu-rays are encoded in. I can't say enough about this app. I mean, it's really cool. If you want to put things in folders for easy organization, for example, Lord of the Rings. Oop, wrong button. For example, Lord of the Rings. I put them all in a top folder because there are 6 different files for it, right? I think I need a new battery in my remote. It's kind of getting sticky. That's not the app, it's me. Okay, so I put all these in a folder on the drive. It'll obviously show these folders and then show you the individual files in the folders. And they play the same. So it's all up to you how you want to organize it. If you want to just throw those in the main folder, it would show in the big list there, but obviously all 6 of them. I just did that for myself. And you can play, pause, you've got full info in the movie, all that kind of good stuff. That's it. So there you go. You want to make your own streaming movie server? That's what you need. All in all, you're in it for a little over $100 for the 2 pieces of software you need to purchase. The rest of the stuff is free, and it's up to you. Now, this does only work with the latest generation Apple TV because this Infuse app only works as a downloadable app. I used to use the built-in Apple TV, just regular computer share and play it through the built-in video player. However, that is limited, does not support, like I said, the better quality audio and video. You have to use the Infuse app. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. We'll see you next time.